Hey, what's going on, family? How y'all doing today, man? Man, I come here to talk about some more of these old politics, man. You know how I go. I know I've been missing in action for a little bit, but I'm back. I'm back. We're gonna make it happen today. We're gonna talk about a few things, man. Man, yeah, I appreciate y'all, family. I sure do. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm coming at y'all, AK International, man, back on the line. Yeah, we're gonna talk about a few things going on out here. Shit, I missed y'all. I don't know if y'all missed me, but I missed y'all, man. I'm coming back, getting everything in order, man. Make things happen. Well, first of all, man, we're gonna come. We're gonna talk about this here what this idiot done did. What he done did with these people, man. Letting these all these South Africans back up in here. You know, yeah, man. It's crazy, man. I hope y'all see and understand why he did what he did and what he was doing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know the acre trade. Have y'all ever heard of acre trade? If you haven't heard of it, look it up. Look up that acre trade family. Yeah, JD Vance is the leader. Uh, they took over. They took over 40,000 acres from the farmers. You know, that's what all that farm bill was about. You remember when they did not let them uh, in with the farmer deal when they didn't give the farmers that money. They didn't give the farmers that money that they was promised in order to help with them farms. And a lot of them farmers they lost their farms, you know, and all that was done by design. I hope y'all can see that. You know, it was all done by design. Basically, what they did was what they did. They took, like I said, they took over 40,000 acres from the farmers to give to them white South Africans. You know, they got them people coming over here. Now, mind you, the white South Africans that came over here, you better believe they wasn't them rich ones up there living on that coastline where it's nice and beautiful at, you know, from all that land that they stole during the apartheid, you know, and actually they got them white South Africans over here, and they giving them everything, man, places to live, you know, food, everything that you need to survive. They gave to them people. They gave them people that stuff. You know, when you got Americans over here starving to death, people over here starving, doing bad, you know, not knowing where their next meal was coming from. But you know, they bring these refugees over here and give them all this. And on top of that, while they giving them all these things, this land and food, clothing, and all that stuff, when they and giving them a free ride to citizenship, they over here deporting people, American people out the country. You know, from Latin people to Haitians to from Latins to Haitians, all the way to Africans and even American people, you know, that they deporting up out of here. And actually, he had went to the Supreme Court to try to get it passed to where he could even deport American people. You know what I'm saying? Where he could, so you know, they got a thing up in the Supreme Court going now about that. I'm not sure if they finished it or not, but that's most definitely what he did. You know, but then at the same time, you're gonna let these white Africans come in here like it ain't no thing. You know, you just let them over here like, okay, y'all come on in, it's cool. You know, and if you notice, just the white South Africans, that's it. Now, now, even to go even further, to give to the white South Africans, in the anchor trade, and then now you know in South Africa, 9% of the South Africans own 87% of the fertile land. So that what they talking about they doing in South Africa, saying that they treat these people wrong and they taking their land and they doing all that. No, no, they got a thing out there with this new president, which is a land reform. And the land reform, it comes out of when the apartheid was happening, how them white folks went down there and they stole all that land. So now you got a guy in there doing land reform situation down there, you know, and they trying to act like that. Oh, they just put these white South Africans, you know, taking their land and doing all this and doing all that. Really, that's not what's going on. It's a land reform for stolen land. And like I say, the white South Africans own 87% of the of the of the of the fertile land. You know, so which don't make no sense, man. But you know, just the things that's being done is crazy. There's so much going on right now to where it's like, damn, like, you know, this man just doing racist shit right in your face, you know, which we already know that. We already know what time it is. And JD Vance was the one that invested in this acre trade. Look up acre trade. He invested in it because they knew what they was gonna do. And guess who else invested in acre trade? The white South Africans. So they already knew that they was going to take these Americans' farms from them and give them to these refugees. You know what I mean? I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. And like I said, in South Africa, 9% of the South Africans, 9% of the South Africans on 88, the white South Africans is only 9% of South Africa. That's what I'm trying to say. It's only the white South Africans. It's only 9% in the 9% white South Africans in the whole country, and that 9% owns 87% of the land. I know I'm flipping flopping from America to South Africa because what this man just did. But like I say, I'm gonna say it again: 9% of the South Africans own 87% of the fertile land. The black South Africans make up the black South Africans make up 90% of South Africa in population, and they only hold 4% of the land. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. 9% of South Africans' population is white South Africans. I want y'all to really get this. 9% of white white South Africans make up 9% of South Africa. White South Africans make up 9% of South Africa and own 87% of the land. The black population in South Africa, which is 90% of South Africans that live in South Africa, they only own 4% of the fertile land. Make that make sense. But you want to say that they down there get treated wrong, they taking their land from them, they doing this, that, and the third. Man, I mean, if you believe that, I'll sell you a bridge. You know, it's crazy. And didn't know spotlight get put on South Africa until your boy Elon Musk mentioned him. And you know, he's a white boy from South Africa. He the one that shined the light on South Africa. But now they trying to make it look like the South Africans is treating these white people bad. So we're going to go get them. We're going to be their savior. We're going to bring these refugees. At first, you didn't want no refugees in America. Just say you don't want no black or Mexican or brown people in America. Just say that. Just put it like that. Let's just be real about what's happening. But you know that's real crazy to me. What you don't doesn't make any sense at all to me. It does. I can't make none of this make sense. You can't make this shit up. It's crazy. And then, man, that's just crazy. But I'm a move on from that. But I want y'all to know what's going on here in America with that. For as these all these white South Africans, he trying to get over about 2,000 of these people out here in this country, and they got 40,000 acres to put them on from stealing the people's farms here in America. You know, because when they supposed to get them loans and stuff that the government give them government loans that they give them, guess what? They didn't give it to them because they knew they was going to lose the farm. They knew they was going to lose the land. So then now they got somewhere to bring these other people, put them there, and let them take over their land. You just gonna give them their stuff, but you couldn't even give these people no help to do these things like you normally do. And then the crazy part, the most thing that I'm most worried about is now you're gonna have these white South Africans over here farming, and then guess what? Ain't no telling what your food gonna be. You don't know what they gonna do. You know, they come from the apartheid where they colonized these people down here. But that wasn't no problem. But them doing the land reform in South Africa, that's a problem. I mean, it's just crazy. You can't make this stuff up. Now I'm gonna talk about BRICS. I'm gonna talk about BRICS right now, man. Because BRICS got it going on right now, where they got that BRICS has over 44 countries that wants to join BRICS. 23 then already applied to join BRICS. And mind you, BRICS is not going out looking for these people to join BRICS. These countries is coming because they see something. They see what's going on. But I'm gonna break down some of that to you today about how this BRICS things work. Like I said, you got 44 countries wanting to join BRICS right now, and then they are already bypassing bypassing SWIFT, SWIFT and the World Banks. So BRICS is not dealing with SWIFT and the World Banks, because SWIFT and the World Bank, and it's another bank, I forget what it is, AMF or something like that. They the one that control stuff with the trade, about what they're gonna trade with and what dollar they're gonna trade with. So what BRICS is doing, they bypassing that. They bypassing having to deal with America, with the American dollar. That's their whole big thing, is bypassing them, because they tired of getting sanctions put on them. They tired of you running game on them and making them do this and making them jump through hoops and do that, and they can't even have a seat at the table. So so they don't. Worked on this for years, figuring out how they was going to do this and how they was going to get this done. And actually, they done figured out a way, and now they're getting it done. And they got, like I say, over 44 countries that want to join them. And in most of the countries, a lot of them is all rich. They sitting on oil. So and what takes place when that happens is it becomes a thing to where they ain't using the American dollar, they ain't using the World Bank, they ain't using SWIFT. Guess what? It makes the American dollar drop, because you got all these countries not using the American dollar. Because people is getting tired of all the BS. You know what I'm saying? So they got 44 countries. BRICS have 44 countries, or knocking on the door, of BRICS, and BRICS is growing. All these countries knocking on the door, and they can't just join. They gotta go through something to join, and they get picked to join. They can't just join. So I imagine that they picking countries that they know ain't gonna stab them in the back, because you know how a lot of countries do. People join stuff and get into stuff, and then you have a backstabber, the one that comes and kill everything and dead and everything, and that's what they ain't trying to do. So basically, they got to go through some to even join BRICS. They done already applied. 23 have applied already, and 21 more want to join, but I guess they haven't applied yet. But you talking about 44 countries. When this first started, it wasn't number about 3 or 4 countries in BRICS. Now look at the growth. And all this growth is coming from the trade wars and all this stuff that they doing with the trade, playing all the games with the trade and stuff. These people don't want to have to go through that. And that's where BRICS come in at. And BRICS is a financial institution. So, like I said, BRICS is growing, and they are deciding they are trying to be the decider of global trade without the dollar, without the American dollar. A lot of countries are a lot of countries are applying to join BRICS. 44 countries are trying to join BRICS. The BRICS new development bank. So BRICS they you got these countries trying to join BRICS, and BRICS got a new development bank that they build, that they doing things through a bank that don't have nothing to do with SWIFT, don't have nothing to do with the World Bank, don't have nothing to do with that. It bypass SWIFT and all that, and they got their own bank that they deal with to do their thing. You know what I mean? And the bank is called the NDB. The bank is called the NDB. You know, so that's what they doing now in BRICS, and it gives construction loans. So with it giving construction loans and stuff like that, now imagine if you able to get construction loans and all these different type of loans messing around with BRICS, then that means you don't have to mess with these other people with these loans and with these trades and different stuff like that. With ain't got to mess with the West with loans and trades, and you dictating what I could do and what I can't do. And this is what these people are trying to go around, which you can't even be mad at them. People are tired of the BS. So this is what they doing. This is what they doing. They bypassing that, and when you get to construction, building wells, building streets, building buildings, building houses, building all these different type of things, nuclear plants and stuff like that. Guess what? What do they need the American dollar for? What do they need to even mess with the American dollar for? And I'm telling you this because this stuff is going to hurt you. Because when the American dollar drop, guess what? All of our dollar drop. The dollar don't stretch as far. And guess what? It puts you deeper in the poorhouse. So that's basically what I'm trying to explain to you. It's a method to this madness, what they doing. Construction loans, and all eyes is on BRICS, because BRICS is having a summit in Rio de Janeiro this year, next month on the 7th and the 8th, and guess what? They got these other countries that's going to be sitting there that wants to join BRICS. Now, if you want to be up on it, then you can look and try to find it on your television, which they may not try to show you, but mess with some other news stations that's not in the country, so you can actually see what's going on, and you can see it, and you could visualize it coming out their mouth for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So they have the G Summit next month. in June 7th to the 8th. It ain't like this summit. It ain't like NATO. It's not like none of that, because these people are tired of not having a seat at the table. And so what they did, they said, forget it. We're gonna build our own table. And that's what they done did. And now you got these other 44 countries that want to join. So I'm quite sure that's going to be some of what they talking about and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I mean, is really, in a lot of these countries, we get a lot of this stuff from that comes over here to America that we use every day. We get a lot of our stuff from there. Everything from natural resources, lithium, cobalt, and all the rest of these type of things, copper, a lot of things from these other countries. Look in your house, damn near everything you got say made in China. Now just think when these people need you, and then once they have this summit, and if these other people, if they allow these other people to join, if they seem to be fit people, then America's at a point of no return. It's no coming back from this. And all this got to do with all these tariffs and all this kind of stuff. So you kind of like at a point of no return. So you know, I'm telling you to save your pennies, because look here, it is gonna affect you. It is gonna affect you. A lot of this stuff is already affecting you, but it ain't affecting you bad enough to where you really feel it. But some people are really feeling it. Like farmers that lost their farms to the South Africans, basically, pretty much, from refugees to refugees, people that was born in this country and been here forever. I'm just saying, these things is gonna affect you. So they having the summit in Rio de Janeiro at that time. BRICS will decide who's in and how far will they go. You hear me? BRICS is gonna decide who's in BRICS now, and how far are they gonna go. But they going all the way. And when they go all the way like that, it's a different thing when you're trying to bully one country. But when you got all these countries together to join the BRICS, they might not be all the way together militarily, but it's a lot of things that they are not gonna allow things to happen for the West to try to control what they got going on and what they done built. Because they've been building this for years. That you know, they just now putting it to work, just like they had 2025 in building it for years. This just didn't come out and they came up with this last year, before the election. It's the same thing with BRICS, man. They've been doing this. You know, so I'm just trying to let y'all know, man, it's real out here what's going on. You need to know what's going on, family. You know, like I say, watch your pennies, watch your money, watch how you spend your money. Be very, very strategic with what you do, because you don't know what's going to happen. You know, you don't want to look up around here and now you living like the poor South Africans, especially how high stuff is here. Everything is sky high, you know, and how far they go. And they're trying to shake up the global power, and they say this summit could mark a point of no return. See that, man? They talking about shaking up the global power, and that's in trade and all that stuff. They got the banks already, the BRICS bank already, the BDN already, to where, man, look here, man. They ain't gonna need us for nothing, because they don't have to deal with the World Bank. And see what the World Bank do, and SWIFT and AM something. What they do, they control the narrative. And these people are tired of somebody else controlling their narrative and their bottom line. You know, so this is something big. I've talked about BRICS before. You know, I backed up off of it, but now I'm back here talking about it again, because it's happening now. And now I finally seen them say on the news one day, and I seen them talk about BRICS here in America. But first they was keeping it from y'all. But I brought this to you before this here happened, because when BRICS first started, it wasn't about 3 or 4 countries in it. Now they got several countries, and they got several countries that apply for BRICS. They got 23 countries that apply for BRICS, and 21 more that wants to join. And it comes to the point of no return. And BRICS, that they say that BRICS is starting. They say BRICS say that they will stop being reactive and become a proactive force. You hear me? BRICS said they're going to stop reacting and become a proactive force. So they already let y'all know what they're gonna do. They ain't playing around. They getting ready to get down to this. They standing on business. Stop being reactive and be a proactive force. And these people ain't playing. They got a chip on their shoulder. They already mad about all these tariffs and all this other goofy stuff that's going on, stuff that they doing, stopping aid over there, and all this kind of stuff to build wells and all that stuff. They said, okay, we got something for you. We got a whole nother way out to where we're going to deal with each other and do not use your dollar, because they know that's going to make the American dollar weak. Y'all need to know that. And like I said, July 7th to July the 8th in 2025 in Brazil, BRICS has control over 35. BRICS has control over 35 to 44 countries already. BRICS has control over 35 to 44 countries already, and decide whether they get in BRICS or not. So you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be the one make a decision whether they get in BRICS or not. As more nations join BRICS, are sanctions effective? As more countries join BRICS, are sanctions effective? No, it's not effective. You know why? Because they don't have to go through you. They could deal with each other without using the American dollar. So if you ask me that question, I'm gonna tell you no. The sanctions is no longer effective. You wasting your time with these sanctions and all that. And the countries are joining BRICS for something different than having a deal with the U.S. And to be offered a seat at the table. You know, they don't care about dealing with U.S. They want to have a seat at the table to say what's going on and what ain't going on. You know, that's like you ain't being in control of your own destiny. You know, that's what people don't realize, man. You know, because in NATO, they ain't offering these people a seat at the table, but they tired of it. And then they ain't got control over the money and none of that, because they got to use the U.S. dollar. But if they alleviate the U.S. dollar, they ain't got to deal with NATO. They ain't got to deal with none of that. They got control over everything that they do. Offer them a seat at the table, and for far too long, only being for a privileged few. Only a few people that had a seat at the table, not these other people. But they tired of it. They sick of it. Guess what? They ain't playing. They ain't playing. They doing their thing. They ain't caring nothing about what nobody else is talking about. They seeing what the West is doing, and they sick of it. And guess what? Now they done built their own situation. And that's the thing about people. What folks don't realize, man, when folks don't give you a seat at the table, you got to build your own table. But I want y'all to watch and learn from this, man, because I'm telling you, y'all need, everybody, we need to build our own table. And you know, and that's what it comes down to. Because if you don't, you being a victim to what these people are putting down. Some people are so brainwashed they just believe, oh no, we're the best, we're this, we're that, we're that. Do they treat you like that? I don't think so. When they just running around killing folks. You know, there's been so many police killings in the last few months, like the police killed that dude's son, and then they want to look at him like he's some murdering, just crazy fool or something. Man, you killed that man kid. What you expect him to do? What do you expect him to do? You done did that to that man's son, and you expect him to just go home and say, "Oh, we shall overcome." If somebody did that to your kids, you wouldn't be feeling like that. You know, yeah, man, this is crazy. You ask me, he's a hero. Used to be, I don't see nothing else different he could have did. I don't think it would be nothing else different that you would do. Everybody just as sensitive about their cubs as you are. But I'm sorry, y'all got me off of that, man. I'm just saying, man, with all this stuff going on like this, looky here. Look here, stand for something or fall for anything. Because you'll be in the po house. In 23, like I say, 23 countries have applied, and 21 has made their interest known. The world power map is shifting fast, and it is shifting. It is shifting from the west. The world power is shifting fast. You know, I talk about BRICS, and people be acting like they think that, oh, what is he talking about? Oh, BRICS, how they gonna do this? How they gonna do that? Man, it's always a way to do anything. It's always a way to do anything, believe me. And these people have been working on it. This ain't nothing that they just jumped up one day and said they was gonna do. This was all a plan, and it was worked out. They had to wait till they could figure out how they was gonna lay it out, and this is the time that they figured out how they gonna lay it out. Yeah, now family, I'm gonna go over here to Burkina Faso, over there in Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Tory. You know what I'm saying? He's a 35-year-old black president down there in Burkina Faso. And this man been down there putting it down for a long time. You know, I didn't talk about this. I should have talked about it earlier before they even talked about it. I've been already knowing about this because I keep up with this dude because I respect him. He's a strong black man. He's strong. He know what he's doing. And you know, when somebody's strong like that, guess what? They always want to try to get them up out of here because, oh, they're the problem or they killing their own people. And I think I've said this before. Every time you turn around, every time when it's a war, somebody's doing something to somebody. You know, just like they say the South Africans is treating the white folks wrong. Now Ibrahim Tory is treating his own people wrong. Now let me go on in on that. Ibrahim Tory, man, that man ain't treating his people wrong. That man is down there. He for one, they mad because he kicked the French and the U.S. Army out of there. He did that last year sometime. Kicked him up out of there, told him to kick rocks. He tired of them stealing all his natural resources, his gold and all that stuff, talking about they protecting him from terrorists. The longer they was down there, they was having more terror attacks than they ever had with them there. But I digress. And so anyway, you know, they they was having all these terror attacks down there. So and wasn't getting nothing out of it. You know what I'm saying? Well, we'll rob you while we'll protect you from terrorism, which never happened. So he kicked the French and the U.S. out there, and you know down there in Africa, in that particular country, they used the French franc. So they super mad. You know, they done colonized these people and had them poor in the poorhouse for years while they got all these natural resources down here, and y'all trying to gangster this dude, uh, you know, out of his stuff and talking about he can't do that. And oh, he's not an elected president. What are you worried about another country and a president for? You didn't even care about when the Haitian president got killed. You right here, 10 throw the rocks from Haiti, and you didn't go down here. You went way down to Africa that had them to go try to check that over there in Haiti. Why y'all didn't go? Why? Because we ain't no natural resources for them to steal. That's why. I'm being blunt today. But yeah, that's what happened. You know, so how you gonna be worried about what president is in another country? You worry about your own country. Stop worrying about other people's country. You know, you can't even run your own country right. You talking about people killing their own people? We sitting up here watching this every week with people getting killed down here in these United States by the police and everybody else. So you know, we don't want to hear about somebody's killing somebody. This man ain't down there killing his people. And once he kicked them out, he kicked the French and the U.S. out. What he ended up doing, Russia came in, and then the help of China. But now these people right here is helping. It's helping. They making trades. He's making trade with them. You know, Putin came down there and set them up with planes, fighter jets, and fighter drones, and all kind of stuff. Wheat. They got China gave them them battle them tanks. Gave them tanks to where the bombs don't. With the bombs, when they go over IAD, instead of it blowing up into the tank, it blows down so it don't kill the people up in there. They got a gang of them tanks down there. You know what I'm saying? This is what he done did since he been in office. He done put all these things together. Gave them battle tanks. They got planes, battle tanks, drones, a gang of wheat. Now they got farming going on down there where they can feed themselves. They got their own farms. They got them fish ponds where they came down there and set them up like a fish pond where they got fish and different stuff like that. They got hospitals going on to help the people. All this to help the people, but you want us to think that this man's down here killing all his people. I'm just putting all this out here because do that sound like somebody that's down there killing their people? And then when you look down there and see what's going on, all these people is out there riding with him. They like, man, we riding with you. You know what I'm saying? They got that. They got their own banks. They getting roads done. They getting everything. And this has been a poor country forever. This man, this young dude, 35 years old, came in there and to put it down. Put it down. And whoever don't respect that, something is wrong with you. And if there's anybody that think that a man like that is down there killing their own people, I'm talking about, man, they got construction going, buildings going, streets going, you know, making the place nice, man. Where these people were starving, couldn't even feed themselves, and protecting them from terrorism. They ain't having all that terrorism going on now. When they do, they go solve the problem. They go put in their work. You know, they willing to die about their country and about their people. But now you got these people that now all of a sudden, since they mad because you got kicked out and thrown out, now this man done had almost 19 attempts on his life. And yeah, you always got to sell out. Somebody give them a bag of money and they try to sell you out, but each one of them get caught. Why? Because the people love him down there. And I want y'all to remember this name. I want you to remember the country, Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. I'm telling you, they trying to get rid of him because they need a puppet president in there that they could run so they can steal all his gold and all the rest of that stuff out the country. They talking about this man is taking the gold and keeping it for himself. You had some black high up dude from the army out here to get up there and talking about, oh, this man's doing this man's doing that. Man, that's a bunch of BS, man. That's a bunch of BS, family. And they trying to kill this man, because he got too much power down there in Africa. And if these people do what they say they're gonna do, what they trying to do, if they all come together, man, you know what I'm saying, and become one country, guess what? It's gonna be crazy. And guess what? The man's so cold, Ibrahim Traoré, he's so cold to where they built the electric cars. Now the other African countries are trying to trying to get the pattern to build the cars and electric stations that they build on their own merit. They didn't go get a concept car. They built this themselves to handle the African terrain, and they build their own electric cars. Why? Because they got cobalt, they got lithium, they got copper. They don't need nothing from nobody to do nothing. Africa is one of the only countries that can sustain itself if people get out of there and stop getting these puppet presidents in these other countries in Africa to where that they running things. But a lot of these countries is waking up down there. You got Mali, you got Mali, you got Burkina Faso, you got South Africa, you got several different countries down there. This all all with what's going on, because it's impressive what this youngster's doing and making his economy and his economics roll down there. But this is the type of guy that you want to go down there and kill him, because you can't do what you want to do down there, and you can't stay down there and do what you want to do. Can't nobody come up here and do what they want to do. What's the difference? I mean, it don't make no sense at all. Out of all these things I told y'all this man was doing, anybody that thinks that this man was down there killing his own people or stealing all the gold for himself, he didn't even take no money when becoming president. He don't ride around in them big limousines and all that stuff that they do down there. He's one of the only presidents. He don't even take president's pay for what he do. He's all about his country, all about his people. And then had 19 attempts on his life. But man, I'm just saying, man, I just came on here, man, to kind of talk about this stuff, man, to let y'all know what's going on, family. And I apologize, I ain't been here for a minute, but guess what? I'm back. AK International, I'm back. I'm back, man. And I appreciate it, man. If y'all like, share, subscribe, man. I'll be here with y'all, because it's just too much information just flooding every day, and it floods from all over the world. All over the world, you got some BS going on, and you got some good things going on. And Africa is one of the continents that got some good things going on. Asia is one of the places that got some good things going on. Brazil, it's a lot of places, man, that everybody's sick of this tariff stuff and all this other craziness that gets everything out of whack. That's why these people are mad. They mad, and they ain't dealing with emotions, man. They dealing with knowledge, with smartness, with intelligence. And that's the same way we need to deal with everything, is with intelligence, man. Because the way I see it, these people ain't smart. The things that they be trying to do is not smart. They stupid, actually. But yeah, man, like I say, man, like, share, subscribe, man. This is AK International, man. I appreciate all y'all. Much love. And y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'm out, man. And enjoy your Sunday, man. Send a prayer up for the world. because we're gonna need it until this stuff flip around. Thank you. Y'all, like I say, enjoy the rest of your weekend, man. This is AK International. Guess what? I'm out.